And a wonderful late afternoon. Today's date is April 8th, 2026. A lot has been happening, not only nationally and internationally, but also for a normal CPA firm, because on April 8th, we are in the thick of opportunity to close the results of operations, financial position, and delve into the lovely world of taxation. But I wanted to take a break because in addition to the normal accounting activities that occur in business season, it has been an interesting time in terms of the consulting effort in professional practices. And I'm seeing trends that I wanted to at least bring to everybody's attention, throw out the idea, maybe even garner a little bit of debate and commentary, and provide some thoughtful activity for individuals who are in professions. Now, a profession is different than an occupation, and much more complex and requires a lot of forethought. A profession is a statutory, when I mean statutory, each state, province, or commonwealth has a definition right into their revised codes for their political subdivision as to what a profession is. Here are the accepted general professions, and they change from time to time, but those engaged in the fields of law, accounting, architecture, professional engineering, primary or secondary teaching education, the medical professions, which include, but are not limited to, physicians, dentists, chiropractors, registered nurses, those who are specifically evolving in their activities in a separate board that assesses the body of knowledge and the code of ethics. The body of knowledge is measured not only by passing examinations of professional licensure, but also doing things like maintaining continuing education, being subject to separate insurance statutes. For example, that's why you see in a profession you'll have malpractice insurance, whereas in an occupation, which may have individuals who conduct themselves extraordinarily professionally, but they will have errors and omissions in insurance. Those are individuals who would not be classified in a profession, but in my personal opinion, are in the netherworld. Those that accept a commission for their activities have a difficulty in maintaining that professional standing because they have an intrinsic conflict. They receive a benefit or detriment based upon the success or failure of a transaction. Sometimes people who are in a profession will accept a commission. In that instance, though, in my personal opinion, they are conducting themselves outside of their profession. Because how can you maintain a dissociated capacity to advise a client or a patient in the event that you would receive economic benefit from it? Actuarial science would be another profession that is usually stipulated in statute. There are confusions. The word accountant is specifically applied to a person who has the initial CPA in back of their name. Now, some of the early days, such as the state of Ohio, there was a confused middle ground. They were called public accountants. They didn't require an examination. They didn't require a specific experience, but they were awarded the term public accountant, not certified public accountant. They were somewhat closed out. What occurred is in the state of Ohio, the public accountants were automatically awarded status as CPAs, and then the classification was closed out. The same thing happens in a lot of different areas. So for example, in dentistry, dental hygienist, function in a very professional manner, but they are followed under the dental practice board. Therefore, they are not in their own profession. Under registered nursing, there are licensed practical nurses who, again, conduct themselves extraordinarily professionally, but they are under the registered nursing practice board. Therefore, they are not in a classified profession. In veterinary medicine, there are licensed or certified technicians. Again, very professional individuals, but they are followed under, excuse me, the veterinary practice board. Give you another example. Nurse practitioners are registered nurses, and they are in a profession, but as registered nurses. Let's see, who else would I classify? Oh, physician's assistants. Again, these individuals have education, they have certain requirements, but they are followed under the practice board of physicians, medical doctors, doctors of osteopathy, whatever classification you would have for that. But that doesn't make them any less professional in their conduct, but it's a personal conduct, and it's not a conduct that's under statute. Why am I saying these things? Well, in a profession with the body of knowledge and a code of ethics, there's a lot of specific demands that are placed on you, and a lot of pressures that are being put before you. The one thing that I'm noting is this confusion that exists in society when convenient. So, for example, a person who is a member of a profession has a real tough time in conducting themselves if they make a mistake. In fact, they are often put at a standard that no mere human should, but they do. If you accept that burden, that responsibility, and that standing as being in a profession, you yourselves have to follow through on that. That's not an easy thing to do. That's why there are things like malpractice insurance, but it's tough being in a profession. It's a real challenge. There are individuals who, in essence, will repudiate their professional standing, in essence, give back their license so that they can conduct themselves outside the burdens of being in that profession. And for example, when individuals want to take commissions, there's some states, for example, for certified public accountants that say, if you are working with a client who you provide attestation services, you cannot take a commission. There's some states that say, well, it's okay to take it, but you just got to tell everybody you're taking it. In essence, proclaiming to people that your opinion is not really detached. Now, you may have a personal ethic, and please don't confuse morality with statutory ethics. Statutory ethics is the lowest standard. A personal morality is a transcendent standard that in all instances should be above whatever the mere required and written ethic is for that profession. But in those instances, you will have to adhere to what's required. So I just wanted to provide some ideas and some thoughts. I don't want to confuse you more than what already exists. Everyone is calling themselves professional. For example, in sports, we call professional athletes. They are not really in a profession, they're occupational athletes. They receive compensation for what they do. Well, that's not being in a profession, that's being in an occupation, unless it's tied into a further and higher responsibility. Some athletes conduct themselves in a very professional manner. Others are sad. But in any instance, they all receive paychecks and endorsements, and their efforts are often measured by how they conduct themselves and how they are revered by their fans, fan being short for the word fanatic. And I question how a fanatic can have a higher regard than a person who's being put in a normal course of standing in judgment. So we want to look at some of these things. There's professions and there are occupations. Some occupations are extraordinarily noble. Thank God for plumbers. My entire family were plumbers. And incidentally, for anybody in the political arena, you're not in a profession. And the question is what level of honorability you may be. But there was one person who was, no, I think it was in the entertainment industry, was making a person who was in politics less valuable by saying that they were a former plumber. Well, in my family, the standing of plumber is the highest, be that apprentice, journeyman, or master. People in any and every profession conduct themselves as being in that profession, but their nobility lies in their personal honor and competency and effort. Same thing holds with an occupationist. And some occupationists provide a far more critical service to society. Thank God we've got rough and finish carpenters, and we have electricians, and we have car mechanics, and we have a whole variety of landscape architects and individuals that provide those services, and finish carpenters, and all sorts of individuals. I mean, I'm repeating myself. I can hear myself say it. You also know that this isn't pre-cam, nor is it AI. It's me. So I just want to throw those issues out. Being in a profession, there are obligations. But to be quite truthful, there's also respect. You've worked long and hard. You've studied long and hard. Often you don't have the same work life, nor is your profession capable of allowing you to have the same work life. For example, the demands of dentistry, especially as you age, gray, paunch, and bald, become greater because of dexterity. The same thing with surgeons. Very difficult, especially when eye-hand coordination becomes so crucial. As a result of that, the amount of years of preparation for the profession, followed by the years of practice and the physical limitations that result, means that your effective, useful life is significantly less than people in other professions. For example, in accounting or in law, you can function well into your 80s or 90s. In fact, my dear father was an attorney, the son of a plumber, I might add, was able to maintain his law license into his early 90s. So just want to throw out some ideas, some thoughts. Don't know if this is popular or not, but this is the reason why we have differences in obligation and consideration in terms of earnings between different individuals. So be you in a profession or an obligation of servitude or in an occupation, I just want to say on behalf of myself and my family, thank you very much. You are crucial to our society, and I am so grateful. This is Owen McCafferty speaking on behalf of Professional Fusion. Now you know what Professional Fusion is focused towards. I want to wish everyone a wonderful good day and be putting some more videos online for your consideration. Please make comments. I love to hear from them. Every comment that's thoughtfully made provides me with an opportunity to learn something, to reassess my own perspectives. So please educate me. I just want to say thank you. Bye-bye.